that I will put recording on now, and that means we're officially rolling. So, hello everybody. Happy Wednesday evening. If we have not had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Becky Frost, and I am the principal at Jeffrey School, the lucky girl who gets to be the principal at our wonderful little school. I was thinking, about welcoming you all here tonight and giving you a little background on myself. And I realized as your students, your kindergartners are joining us next year, it will be my 10th year in the district. So I taught third grade prior to coming to Madison in Cheshire. And then I was the assistant principal at Polson Middle School here in town for 6 years. I did a year at Island Avenue as we closed the doors there. And then this will be my third year at Jeffrey School. So I'm just so thrilled to be working in a district like this with families such as yours and these amazing teachers that you're going to meet a few of tonight. Because, together we are going to embark on just a wonderful journey for your child. And there is nothing more exciting, nerve-wracking, happy, sad, all at the same time than putting that kid on the bus, that first day of school. So as a mom myself, I have 2 school-aged boys and a little 7-month-old girl at home. So I've been right there with you and share in those tears and that joy, all together. So welcome. Our purpose tonight is really just to introduce ourselves, give you a little brief overview of what your kindergartner's day will look like, and then answer any questions that you might have. So I am going to share my screen. I did put just some slides together, mainly so it's not just our faces staring at you, but also it'll help give you some visuals and keep us on track a little bit here. Bear with me one moment. Okay. All right, good. Slide number 2. So yes, again, welcome. And I want to first introduce you to our team here. So we have 5 sections of kindergarten for next year. We will also have 5 first grades, 5 second, 5 third grades next year. So a nice even 20 classrooms.
Your new principal.
Hi, and for anybody who's a type A personality like me, nice and even, 5 sections of each grade would be great. But your child will be placed in one of these 5 wonderful ladies' classrooms. So I'd like them all to just say a quick hello. Mrs. Borden, do you want to wave hi? You might need to say something too, or else I don't know that the screen will move to your face. Just want to say hi.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was muted. Hi, how's everybody tonight? I see one of my students there. Hi, Gray. Nice to see all of you.
Miss Dunbar is with us.
Hello, nice to see everyone tonight.
Mrs. Perillo is with us, and she will actually be our kindergarten team leader next year.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to meet you. Looking forward to it.
Ruth Smerick is joining us as well.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Jeffrey, if you're new.
And then we have a wonderful addition. Mrs. Jen Soja joins our Jeffrey team next year. She is coming to us from Ryerson, or I should say, returning. Returning to us from Ryerson.
Coming full circle. Ryerson Kindergarten Campus, Jeffrey, Ryerson, Jeffrey.
Just a girl, all around. Yeah.
Yep. Psyched to be back.
And Alyssa Constantino will be with us as well. She is our special education teacher for kindergarten next year.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Alyssa, I didn't see you pop up on my screen. Do you want to say hi one more time?
Hi.
There we go.
Nice to meet you all.
All right. So just to give you a couple other names as you get to know all of our Jeffrey staff, your children, again, will have one of these lovely classroom teachers, but you will get to meet their PE teachers, Miss Bond or Miss Dripcheck. Mrs. Soderberg is our music teacher. Our lovely art teacher, Mrs. Woods, is riding off into retirement this spring, so we'll be hiring for a new art teacher. Senora Gonzalez, who's currently teaching at Polson Middle School, will be coming to us for Spanish next year. And Jill Fayen is our library media specialist. We also have a host of other names here that are ready to welcome your children in the fall. So if you ever need to seek out supports of school psychologists, guidance counselors, next year we will have a full-time social worker in the building. And you know, all that we've gone through this past year with COVID, it's going to be really great to have that additional resource. And we've just hired Sydney Sutcliffe for that position. If your child receives speech and language services, OT, PT, you see those names here. And of course, many of you will get to know our wonderful nurse, Maura Cutler, as well. Just wanted to start off really by saying, you know, thank you again for being here, for taking the time out of this beautiful evening from soccer and baseball practices and cooking dinner and baths. We're just really happy that you're here. And on behalf of Jeffrey School, our Board of Education, and our amazing PTO, we're excited to have you here tonight. Some important dates right off the bat, because step one of welcoming your child to kindergarten is making sure we all have our calendars synced. We will be having an in-person student orientation. So tonight is, again, just a little taste of kindergarten. We will be welcoming you and your children into the building before school starts so that they can meet their teacher, see their classroom. In the past, we've been able to have a school bus available for them to, you know, take a peek and get on. So we actually have those dates already set. So if you are a last name A through M, you'll be coming on the 27th for the first half hour, 9 to 9:30. And then just to give a little more space, and our parking lot is always crowded, if you are last name N through Z, you'll come a little later at 9:45. Our first day of school is officially August 30th, so nice and early. And then we will also have a more, again, even more informational open house night, usually mid-September, where the classroom teachers will be able to give you more specifics about their curriculum and how things are, you know, transitioning for your child and their classroom. That has not been scheduled yet, but I will get that out to you as soon as possible. One thing that will help in terms of keeping all of this organized is we have a Madison Public Schools app. And you can literally just search that in your app store, Madison Public Schools, and you'll see the blue Madison Public Schools emblem come up. You can, in that app, sync our district calendar to your calendar, and then you'll have all this automatically populated and ready to go. So it's definitely worth a few minutes to get yourself set up, and then you're good to go for your child's tenure at Jeffrey School. We also have a Facebook page, Jeffrey Elementary School, where I post to regularly. So that's a great place to make sure that you like us and follow us. We also have a YouTube channel, again, Jeffrey Elementary School. That would be a great place to check out with your son or daughter now, because we have lots of videos up there. Welcome videos. I left a little read aloud for your kids, but there's also past videos from our school, you know, old talent shows, spirit days. So it will really give you a flavor and taste of our traditions and all the fun that awaits your child in kindergarten next year. I thought I would address this question sort of right off the bat too, because as it is on your minds, I'm sure it is definitely on the forefront of mine as well. And that is, all right, I'm sending my child to kindergarten, but this whole pandemic thing really isn't quite wrapped up yet. And with kids not being vaccinated, you know, our kindergartners not being vaccinated for the fall, you know, what is next year going to look like? And while I'm really optimistic that a lot of the precautionary safety procedures we had to put in place this year will be lifted for next year, I don't have all the answers yet. So here's an example of one of our classrooms. I think this is Margaret's class, of what it looked like this year when we had social distancing and desk shields up. We've already been able to relax some of those restrictions. The desk shields are now down unless children are eating. But we have eaten in the classrooms this year, not used the cafeteria. We have not used our related arts rooms. We've had all of related arts in the classroom. We've had recess individually as a cohort by class. All of those things I'm really hopeful we can sort of get back to normal with next year. I think the biggest thing is, will the kids still have to wear masks? And at this point, all guidance is saying yes, but I will get updated information probably mid-July. And again, the district will be communicating that out as soon as possible. So My guess is that we're going to be in masks with some level of social distancing until all the students are vaccinated. But again, please note, big disclaimer, that is, my best guess at this point. If you have specific questions, either now or as, summer draws to a close and we're getting started again, please call me anytime. I have a completely open email policy. No question is too small. I'd rather get asked the same question 20 times and have nobody asking. So please don't ever think you're a bother, because this is really, it's an unknown for all of us. So the good news is we've had a really, really great year despite all of the desk shields and masks, and our kids are thriving. We had our data team meetings this past week to look at all of our spring assessment scores, and our current kindergartners made tremendous growth. So kudos to our kindergarten teachers and our whole kindergarten team. But I'm really grateful that your kids will have a very positive experience here at Jeffrey School next year, despite maybe having to start the year in masks. So more to come on that for sure. This is a plug from our nurse, Maura Cutler. As you know, the state of Connecticut does require a health assessment record to be completed and submitted to the school prior to your child attending. So that is, we do need the physical, we do need the updated immunizations. Also, if your child will be taking medications in school or any Maura is always happy to take your phone calls. So please reach out.
Okay, 1 minute, Amelia.
You can find her number directly on our website or call the main office and we can transfer you. But again, we like to be a partner with all aspects of your child's
No, I have to hear this, honey.
health is certainly number one.
I'll do Coconut minute, okay?
Just a little bit of information about arrival and dismissal, because again, I think that's a big question of if my child is, coming to school on that first day, where do they go? We greet students arrival from 8:35 to 8:50. Our buses drop off in our main loop. And if you're going to be driving your child to school, you'll drop off. We create a loop in our upper parking lot. We don't just expect your kiddos to make it to their classroom on their own in those first weeks of school. We really have all hands on deck, and your students will be personally walked to the cafeteria to greet their teacher, at least in that first week. If we need to do it for the second week too, if we're not feeling confident, we can certainly do that as well. But they'll meet their teacher in their cafeteria, in our cafeteria, and walk as a group to their class for those first couple of days again, so that they know exactly where they're going and feel very safe.
Mommy has to listen, it's important.
Dismissal is at 3:25. Again, our buses are using them only for the buses. Right now, parent pickup is a little bit different because we are working on a staggered schedule to get all of our students out of the building safely and social distanced. I'm hoping next year we can use our instructional time right up to 3:25. Parent pickup would be in our upper parking lot where we do ask you to park, line up, show your ID, and sign your child out. That is the safest process we have. But again, knowing that state requirements for COVID safety guidelines will be updated this summer, I will be sure to confirm these process and give you more specifics as the fall draws closer. If your child will be taking the bus, and we encourage that for sure, it's a great experience socially for the kids, building a little independence. Bus numbers and times will be available on the Jeffrey website in August, so start checking that about mid-August. I'll also send out an e-notify, an email blast, letting you know they're available. We always have our kindergartners sit in front so that we can keep that extra close eye on them. And we make sure that they wear a name tag for those first 2 weeks. Again, making sure that everybody gets home safely, especially on day one, is always my number one priority. This sounds terrible, but I don't care if they learn anything on the first day of school. We just want to get them on the right bus and get them home safely, knowing that they've had a great, fun first day, love their teacher, met some nice friends. So it's obviously a process we take very seriously, and all hands on deck to get them back on their bus safely back to you at the end of the day. All right. Well, to tell you a little bit more about that day, I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Dunbar, who's going to give you a rundown of kind of a little bit of what the day will look like. You all set, Alicia?
Yep.
All right.
So
Oops.
others tonight will go into a little bit more detail on some of the specific academic areas. But if you take a look at us at the screen, this is kind of just an everyday overview of the schedule of events for our day. Our morning routine consists of coming in, greeting the students at the door, hanging up coats, finding out, am I buying lunch? Did I bring lunch from home? All those settling in pieces of our day together, checking attendance, having helpers bring papers to the office, those types of things. Then classrooms roll into our morning meeting, which is a really wonderful opportunity to share a message, to sing songs and do small activities where we really get an opportunity to start building that classroom community with one another and allowing students to know each other by name, learn a little bit about each other, which is always a nice way to start things off. This year, we moved into a different phonics program called Fundations. Fun definitely happens in there. I think your students will enjoy it. It's very good at really getting them to that beginning of the year knowledge of letters and sounds and all that. So we roll right into that. From there, we talk about our readers workshop. We share stories. Same with writing. We work on the routines of what does it mean to be a reader? What does it mean to be a writer? Kindergartners navigate that. It's all building independence. Then we have an earlier lunch this year. We have recess and lunch from 11 to 12, which is a nice little break for them to be social with one another. And then when they come back, we'll have our related arts. Once a week, it is art. Once a week, it's Spanish. They also have PE twice a week and music. Following our special time, they come back for a little quiet time. Just an opportunity to kind of settle in and regroup before our afternoon academics, where we have our math time, where we have workplaces. Students learn how to work cooperatively with each other in different math activities. Due to the earlier lunchtime, we will be having an afternoon snack. Another opportunity for students to get moving with a mini recess. And then we end our day with either a science or social studies unit. They rotate back and forth. Then we end our day like we began it with another meeting together where we, go over how the day went, we reflect and set expectations for the next day. So again, this is just sharing that our schedule for recess and lunch will be 11 to 11:30 for the recess part, and then lunch from 11:30 to 12. This gives a nice opportunity to get moving, settle in to eat, and then come back to the classroom before students need to transition into the related arts block. And then the quiet time and snack time and extra recess happen in addition to those in the afternoon. And then the morning meeting and closing circle I briefly mentioned are part of our responsive classroom. Morning meeting and snack, lunch, recess, quiet time, and accountable talk, all of those really fit together in that classroom, responsive classroom approach, which really uses practical strategies to bring together that social and academic learning throughout our day as a whole. We provided plenty of opportunities for accountable talk, while also incorporating in those more social opportunities for student discourse through the snack and lunch. We really work hard in kindergarten on laying a strong foundation where students get comfortable feeling a part of the classroom community. They feel comfortable taking risks, build that sense of independence, and we really work with them on helping to express their thinking and their feelings appropriately.
Thanks, Ms. Dunbar. We're going to shift now a little deeper into the academics, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Borden.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is where the magic happens, right? Kindergarten, a lot of magic happening here. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about reading and writing, the workshop model. I just want to tell you that I could talk about this for hours. So I did type up a page so that I could stay focused. So it's a very structured time for the teaching of literacy instruction, the block of time where children are immersed in books. They listen to read alouds, they share stories with one another, they share the pen with their teacher during interactive writing, and they really become storytellers where they're going to be writing their own books. And so in each of the kindergarten classrooms, the children have access to a variety of literacy materials to support the reading and writing process. Each class has a wonderful classroom library, and it's stocked with lots of Just Right books and numerous mentor texts. So every day we have a daily lesson, a little mini lesson on which would focus on teaching reading comprehension and strategies. And after the lesson, the children will practice these skills, and they do so with their little partners. They'll practice reading stamina. They'll shop for books. They'll learn what Just Right books are, and they'll develop that stamina, and they'll work with their partners, looking closely at pictures, learning how to read pattern books at the beginning of the year, how to read sight words. They'll look at pictures and retell stories with their partners, and they even start practicing fluency. Teachers will meet with individual children or small groups to read and talk about books with them during this time. So, funny story, the other day, so we're talking about reading like the character, and I'm working with a little group, and all I can hear is party, party. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on in room 3? And of course, what do I notice? They're reading a Mo Willems, I Am Invited to a Party book. So they do take this quite seriously, and they really were having a lot of fun with this book. And it's a lot of joyful learning going on while they're reading with their friends. So throughout the year, we also will read a variety of texts, including fiction and nonfiction. Children will learn how to write like the authors that they're familiar with. At the beginning of the year, they'll write small moment stories, which are stories that really come from their heart, stories that about things that they've experienced, things that are important to them in their lives, special events. So they'll be thinking about that and becoming storytellers and telling their friends all about their stories. They'll share them, and things like losing a tooth, or going to visit a grandparent, or going on a little vacation. So they have lots and lots of stories to tell with each other and to their teachers. So they'll be planning out their stories with their partners. They'll draw, they'll label their pictures. And later on, as I said, we have these mentor texts, like, for example, Mo Willems is a very popular author in our kindergarten classrooms, and he uses a lot of word bubbles, speech bubbles. So the children will start putting dialogue in their stories and feeling words. So they're behaving just like an author, really, how an author really behaves. During our nonfiction unit, we'll be reading a lot of books, and they'll get to know Gail Gibbons and Jim Arnosky and lots of other famous authors, and they'll start writing like them. They'll start drawing diagrams and labeling their diagrams. They'll pick topics that are important to them, that they're experts in. So for example, this year, children wrote about camping and cats and dogs and summer. So they, after reading a lot of nonfiction books and learning all the text features, they'll start writing their own text features and their own fun facts. So that's a lot of fun. And then at the end of the year, we are working currently on persuasive writing, and that's a lot of fun. They write about things that are important to them. They want to change the world and make it a better place, for example. So maybe they'll write to Mrs. Frost about asking her for things. For example, they wrote about asking her for smoothies to be served in the cafeteria, because they're healthy and they're kind of bored of the drinks. There's not really a lot for them, so they'll come up with all these reasons, and then they'll ask for specific things. So then they'll also write to their parents, and they'll ask them for things like maybe a pet, or a pool, perhaps, or a sleepover, play dates, all those things. And they'll even offer, they'll give you ultimatums too. If you do this, if you get me a pool, I promise I'll help clean, I'll vacuum, I'll do my chores, and then they'll even sign it like your loving daughter or son, they try to butter you up a little bit. So they know how they take these ideas from the mentor text that we read to them and they implement them in their own writing. So it's a lot of fun and it's all coming from their heart. It's very authentic writing. And so basically Readers and Writers Workshop, we have multiple opportunities to collaborate with our friends, with our partners, with our teachers, and they leave kindergarten knowing that they are readers and writers. So it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of joyful learning that goes on.
Very well said, Mrs. Borden. Thank you so much. And then I have to be the mean principal that says, no, I'm sorry, we can't have a smoothie bar in the cafeteria. I told them it's because we don't own a blender. And they said, well, buy a blender, Mrs. Frost. They're smart. All right, Mrs. Perillo is going to talk a little bit more about that Foundations program and how we teach really the core of reading and writing.
So this year was our first year with Foundations, and it is a lot of fun. We use our Mama Echo and Baby Echo. You see the owls on the slideshow. They are our little mascots and they help us and the kids love them. They're puppets. Mama Echo tells them when it's time to echo back letters and sounds and things like that. Then eventually moving into different words. Baby Echo will help with pointing to like the letters on the board and things like that. They really love when Mama Echo and Baby Echo come out. And we start with the letters and ID, letter ID, sound ID, moving into trick words and tapping out CVC words and learning all about digraphs and just all the different things that, the foundations of reading and writing. They, like I said, they love it. We have magnet boards. So they get to build words. They build words on the big board. They build words on their little boards. They write them on whiteboards. They learn proper letter formation, which is wonderful to see. With this program, they know all about the skyline and the plane line, the grass line and the worm line. They can tell you that, T is a skyline letter and that G is a worm line letter. They just really love all of the different stories that are involved, the trick words and the different sentences we come up with. The sentences they come up with using the different words are usually better than the ones I come up with. The vocabulary they learn, like we'll come up with a sentence and so many kids will be like, well, what's that word? And then they learn we talk about it and they learn about it. And then they start using it in their speech and in their writing. It's just, and then they'll find it in books and then they get all excited. Like, Mrs. Perillo, I found the word the, and like we would go and on a the hunt around, in their books, and they just really love the program and they've learned so much this year, from switching to this program. So I'm really excited for it for next year too.
Me too. The results we're getting from our kiddos this year is really exciting to see. So thanks. Miss Merrick is up to just talk a little bit about math.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there we go. All right. So in Jeffrey School, we use the Bridges math program. And I like it a lot because it does have a lot of hands-on activities, which for kindergarten, is really the only way to go. The Bridges program throughout the day is a blend of direct instruction by the teacher, some structured investigation, and also open exploration. So they're really, Mrs. Frost, can you go to the next? I like the next one better. All right, thank you. So the Bridges program is really made up of 3 components. There's Number Corner, there's the teacher lesson, and there are workplaces. The Number Corner activities are usually separate in time from the lesson and the workplaces. And you can see here that it's a group of activities that revolve through the month. If you look at the picture, you can see what I think that's our September calendar on a black pocket chart. So every month there's that calendar, and that's one of the activities, the calendar grid. And in the calendar grid, the students look for patterns, they learn about different structures, and they're introduced to them, and they're able to reinforce a variety of key number and geometry skills. Also, so that's done every day. Also, every day we count days in school, and it might be a little hard to see, but we count them and we show, this is early in September, so there's a 110 frame there. That looks like maybe the 8th day of school. On a 10 frame, we add a dot. We also add a link to the link chain, and we continue this throughout the school year. So they start with low numbers and they build and they build. Some of the other activities are calendar collector. Every month is different. Often there's a spinner. Students take turns spinning, and we collect either Unifix cubes, or every month it's different shapes, blocks. And they sometimes they graph them, but that gives them, again, an opportunity to estimate, to count, and to think about number value. And then there's also computational fluency, where they practice combining and partitioning numbers. And there's a number line activities. The blue strip at the bottom there is the number line, beginning number line, but we also every day create a long number line where we're counting days in school. So again, start with the smaller numbers and we go past 100. So that's number corner. Then the other components are the lesson and the workplaces. Typically, the math block then would be a short teacher-directed lesson where the teacher might pose a problem, give some time for individual thinking. Then the students would work and talk in pairs about how maybe they would solve the problem, and then they would move on to sharing with everyone or comparing the strategies and the solutions that they've come up with. Then we go on to workplaces, which is really probably maybe my favorite part of the Bridges program. Workplaces are probably what you think of as centers, different stations, and the students have great opportunities to work hands-on with different materials. A lot of the activities in the workplaces are partner games, game-like activities. Some of them are independent, and then some of them are partner games that are just open-ended activities. So students love this. And usually we have 4, maybe 5 workplaces going on at once. And once we introduce one, then we retire another one. So students have plenty of opportunity to experience all of the workplaces as we go through the unit. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Soja, you've been so
Hi.
patient. Thank you. What's up with science and social studies?
Well, as I listen to like our day, I want to be a kindergartner again. I mean, I think that like to watch all of what we do throughout the day, I kind of am amazed that you'll be surprised at how your child really steps up to the plate for all these things that kind of maybe seem a little overwhelming when you're thinking, wow, they're going to write, they're going to read. It's really a great, great day. As far as science and social studies, one of the best things that I really love, it's hands-on. It's the end of the day. The kids are a little more tired, so what a great way to end the day. And another thing that I love about the science and the social studies is I do say it ends the day, but really it starts at the beginning of the day and it's woven throughout your entire kindergarten day. I kind of talk a little bit first, if it's okay, about the social studies, which is the next slide, because I feel like at the very beginning of the year, this is really what it's about. Like your child walks in, and not in a selfish way, especially in my room, right? Because it's all about me. No, it's all about me, as in your child is 5 and they're used to being just the center of, and they are, of the universe. And once they get into the classroom, they start to see themselves from me, we read stories about friends, stories about how to be in school, stories about your family, and we incorporate all this stuff into our readers and writers as well. During when Margaret was talking about readers workshop and storytelling, we have magic mirrors where they're holding up a mirror and they're talking about themselves and their families. They start to grow from that family setting into the next setting, which is the classroom. And then from the classroom setting, it gets wider. And usually we go into, at that point, into traditions and holidays, which is celebrations, which is usually around the holidays. And then after that, it grows bigger into the community. We have Veterans Day and different things that are going on in the town. We've done things with Bower Park. We've done things with high school kids. So then it becomes part of the Madison community. So the social studies piece is wonderful, and it's woven into our writing and into our reading. Sorry that I kind of flip-flopped them, but I feel like it's kind of like the beginning of what your child is doing right when they walk into kindergarten. The science is very hands-on, and again, it lends itself to what our kids are. They're investigators, they're explorers. The units that we have are plants, weather patterns and predictions, and our environment. And again, like, think about the fall. It's, it's pumpkins, it's apples. Your child is excited about everything going on with the holidays. We incorporate that into our writing, teaching them how to label. So that science and, again, social studies piece gets woven in throughout the day. When Ruth was talking about Number Corner, where we do the part of our day where we are talking about the calendar, we're talking about the weather and the weather patterns and the seasons. So it really does get woven into the day. And then ending the year more with on our environment being recycling, reducing, Earth Day. So really the interaction that your child has is throughout our entire day and throughout our entire year, trying to hone in on the topics that you see here, but they're woven into our whole kindergarten life, to our lives in general. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to end the day too.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Soja.
You're welcome.
So all of these academic areas are highly differentiated, meaning teachers will teach your child where they are at. If they are mastering concepts, we have lots of ways to enrich the curriculum. But I also want you to know about the supports we have if they need some support, some extra help. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Constantino. She'll tell you a little bit more about extra support and related arts.
Sure. So in kindergarten, we have definitely a team approach to supporting your students, and that encompasses really all aspects of children's needs. Like Mrs. Frost just said, we take them wherever they're at, coming in the door, and meet them where they're at and give them that support. And some of those services include students with IEPs, special education services. We also have individual and group support with the school psychologist or the social worker. Sometimes the guidance counselor does lunch bunches and meets with students as well. There's also tiered intervention with the math and the reading interventionists. And depending on what the student needs for that, are different tiers of intervention and small group and individual instruction that happens in reading and math. A lot of parents wonder about their student being pulled out. We try to work together to make that schedule work for your students so they're not missing too much time in the classroom, but also getting what they need. And I think in kindergarten, it's very, you go into the classroom to get a student and they all want to come. So it's exciting and fun for them, and sometimes gives them a little more confidence in doing, something on their level and making progress and feeling successful. So that's kindergarten support. And then related arts. So in kindergarten, the students will have a weekly, like Ms. Dunbar said, weekly related art times. They'll have PE twice a week, Spanish, music, and art once a week. And these sessions are 40 minutes long. It's a nice change in their day. We're excited, hopefully, to get back to normal and where they can travel to those classrooms and have those different teachers for a little bit and get to, get out of their classroom. It was a little bit different this year, but we're hoping for back to normal for next year. And students also are able to go to libraries, so they can once a week check out books, bring them home, return the books the next week. And the related art schedule for your students' class will come from your teacher in the fall. And so hanging that up at home, and they can remember to bring their sneakers to PE days, and all those fun things. So
Awesome, thank you. So again, that is a lot of information that we've thrown at you again, but they are going to, it's our hope that they're going to love coming to school and enjoying all of these things that Jeffrey School has to offer. As Margaret said, it's truly magical what our teachers are able to do with the kids and teach them from September to June. And we're really looking forward to working with your kids. I get this question a lot, what should I be doing at home this summer, Mrs. Frost, to prepare my kindergartner? And I really talk about 3 things. Number 1 is just read a lot. If bedtime reading, it works for your family, great. If reading a book while they're eating breakfast works for your family, great. I always found for my kids, if I just left a stack of books in the car as we were driving places, they would pick them up naturally. And it was just an extra way to sneak it in, because there's so much research about time in text. Kids just need experience with books. So that would be really helpful. In terms of math, count everything with them. The more they can talk about numbers, count things as you're driving, count things as you're, cleaning up the house, just kind of making that part of your little routine here and there when you can is super helpful. And then last piece is something we call growth mindset. And that is really the belief that smart is something you can get. So there's a great book by Carol Dweck called Growth Mindset. And she talks about how we should not tell our children that they're smart. And I remember reading that for the first time going, oh my goodness, I've been a terrible parent this whole time going, oh, Tanner, you're so smart. I thought I was giving him a compliment and building his self-esteem, but we really want our students to know that you're going to be thrown challenges. We want to challenge you. We want to push you, and you are strong. We're going to teach you the skills you need to persevere through things. And if you give really effective effort, you're going to master really tough things. So it's all about building that independence. So you can start using some of that language, persevere, have a growth mindset. How could you solve this, rather than solving the problem for them, which can be sometimes very tempting because it makes things quick and easy. But honestly, if those 3 things are something you can keep in the forefront of your mind, they're going to be really ready to come to us. And just in closing, I always say, we are really just committed to your child first. Students, yes. We will teach them reading, writing, math, science, social studies, some beginning Spanish. But more than anything, we're just going to love your kids. We're going to laugh with them, joke with them. Hopefully we'll be able to high five and hug them again, because I think I can speak for the whole team. We miss that. Those little moments. So again, this is just a little taste tonight of their day. And again, wish we could be in person so that I could shake your hand and start to learn your names as well, because hopefully we'll be on a first name basis for the next 4 years together. So if it's okay with you all, I'm going to dismiss my teachers because they have had a long day teaching and sharing with you tonight. So thank you, kindergarten teachers, magicians that you are. Go rest. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I am happy, we've done a lot of talking now, but I'd love to know what's on your minds, what questions you have, what else we can do to help your child with their transition to school in the fall. So we're a small enough group. You're welcome to type anything in the chat, I think is easiest. And I'll read off the questions there and go from there. So we do have our first question, and that is, how many kiddos per class are you anticipating? And the nice thing is because I mentioned to you, we've added a 5th section. Right now, the class sizes are very small. We're anticipating, really as small as 15. Registration is still ongoing, so we're not even at that number yet, but I would anticipate 15, 16 being our final class size, which is really just perfect for for kindergarten. Enough of that it feels like a group, but we can really, between the teacher and the full-time classroom para, really meet their needs. Will my child survive between breakfast and lunch with no snack? Well, that is a great question. And if your summer household looks like mine, the snacks are a plenty and a flowing. They will survive. Certainly, we are not in the habit of denying children a couple of crackers or their snack or a drink if they can't make it till 11. Our teachers are very tuned in to those needs. And if going from breakfast at 8 o'clock till 11 is too much for your child, we will certainly adjust the schedule. If your child is certainly saying, Mommy, I'm really hungry before lunch, or Daddy, I can't make it, please reach out to your child's teacher. We will be sure to adjust, as needed. And, a couple of days in, they kind of get used to their schedules. Their tummies become used to it. They're actually really hungry for lunch, so they eat a nice bigger meal, we've found. And that really prepares them for the afternoon learning, because it is a long day for them. If a child has two homes, how are projects like stories shared among both households? So please know, in our Infinite Campus system, if your child does go back and forth between two households, we have your two mailing addresses set up. Anything that's mailed home automatically gets a second copy, anything like a report card. And then our teachers are really good about making photocopies to make sure that a story or a special project, those big milestone projects are sent to both households. So again, it's always great. We always appreciate a reminder at the beginning of the year, as you're at orientation, of just a reminder, we love things sent to both households, but it's a common practice that we are very used to and happy to oblige. Is there a full-time para in every kindergarten class? Yes. Actually, at Jeffrey School, it's unheard of. I know of no other school where we actually have a dedicated classroom para in each of our K-3 classrooms. So your child, throughout their tenure at Jeffrey School will have, their classroom teacher, but our students really see the classroom paraeducator as the second teacher. So if your child gets Mrs. Borden as their kindergarten teacher, they're going to have Mrs. Giles there with them every day. And the paraeducators do recess and lunch. So it's really nice that we have adults that know your children to help them through those more unstructured times of the day. The paras will be in the lunchroom with them. They will be outside with them at recess. They're a great, ears and eyes for the classroom teachers as they are eating their lunch and prepping materials for the next day. Will kids have access to their water bottles throughout the day? Yes, absolutely. They keep them either on their desk or right at their chair, and they are free to drink water whenever need be. With COVID, we have kind of kept the water bottle use for mask breaks, and we have plenty of mask breaks throughout the day right now, only because the masks are coming off. They take their sip, put their mask back on. When we have mask breaks, we're either outside or we put the desk shields up. Will there be more info over the summer about bringing lunch and buying lunch options? Yes. So you will get a lot more info mid-August. I am going to be sending home a very large envelope with more papers in it than you would like to see, but it will be time well spent if you can go through them kind of one by one, because I'll have more information about who your child's teacher is, their contact information. We'll have information about how to sign up for lunches, where to find the lunch menus. We use something called My Payments Plus, which is really easy. You can put your credit card information in it, and it will re-up the balance if you choose to have your child buy lunch. In that packet will also be information about what to do if your child's sick, and specifics about arrival and dismissal and parent pickup, and what if you need to pick your child up early. So all of those details will be in that packet. And again, if you read through it and one of your questions is not answered, please call me. I do work all summer long. So myself and our wonderful school secretary, Julia Bonfiglio, we are around. So again, pick up the phone or email me. Just make sure when you email me, my email is FrostR for Rebecca, not FrostB. It's a mistake that's made sometimes, but it's on the homepage of the website if that's easiest. These are great. Keep them coming. Is lunch provided? So we do offer hot lunch. And you can apply for free and reduced lunch if your family qualifies. And certainly I'm happy to have a private conversation about that. It's not provided free of charge, and we do not offer breakfast. But we do have 2 hot lunch options every day. And it's sort of the standard kids food. It's pizza, tacos, chicken nuggets, chicken patty sandwiches, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, that kind of thing. Is there another option to come for a quick orientation if a family will be out of town on the day of orientation? Yes, absolutely. I think on our slide, I put up that it is the 27th of August, but if you're going to be away, just call me. Again, I'm there all summer. So once you get that packet and know who your child's teacher will be, I'd be happy to set up another time for you to go and meet the teacher if you can't make that orientation time. It's really important to me that kids feel comfortable walking into the building on the first day of school. And it's also a nice moment for me to get to know a few families before the year gets going as well. So happy to do that. Is there an app for photos during the day? So we do post from time to time on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel as a school. And then each teacher will have their system for sharing classroom news with you. So some of our teachers use an app called Class Dojo. Some of our teachers have a blog where they actually write and post things. I wouldn't say daily, but a couple times a week. Some teachers just send home emails with pictures in them. So I really let teachers kind of use what works best for them. But every classroom teacher will send home periodic updates for sure. Are there recommendations for before or after school care? What are the options at school? So right now we do offer before school care right in our cafeteria and playground, and after school care right in our cafeteria and playground. It's run through Beach and Rec. Beach and Rec services are ending at the end of this school year, and a new agency will be taking over our before and after care. It is not run by the Madison Public Schools. So it's a different, in some districts, it's the YMCA that runs them, or again, Parks and Rec, Beach and Rec. I do not have information yet on what agency will be running our before and after care programs, but information on that will also be sent home in August. And if some of you I would think you would want to be planning a little bit earlier than August for before and after care. So as soon as that information is available, I can send out an e-notify on that as well. That's a great question. How do you handle misbehavior? Well, first of all, our Jeffrey students never misbehave. No, by and large, we have really great kids, and it will happen in kindergarten. They will get frustrated and use hands when we don't want them to. We do have to teach them about keeping safe bodies or using kind words. You saw Ms. Dunbar speak about the responsive classroom model. So that would be something to Google because that is the basis of all of our classroom climate, school climate, community building. And really what we try to do with students is enforce logical consequences. So if they break something, they fix it. If they hurt friends' feelings, we have a restorative circle to make our friend feel better and talk about strategies that we could use next time we're frustrated. So at the kindergarten level, even first, second, and third, we see these moments as teaching moments. We do not expect them to come in knowing how to navigate new social situations that are going to pop up or new frustrations as work gets tough. We know they're children. We're here to teach them, and we will be your partner if things do pop up. My teachers are excellent communicators, and we'll be in touch if they're seeing any concerns in the classroom early on. And our last one says, thank you so much. And you are welcome so much. I'm so blessed to be able to be the principal of this school. The staff is phenomenal. I always say I have the best job in the world. I love greeting the kids every day. I love seeing their academic growth. I love having fun with them and, getting the waves and the hi, Mrs. Frost in the hallway. Jeffrey is a really, really great place for your children to go to school. And my only hope again for these opening days is that they just really love coming to school. Excited to learn, feeling like Jeffrey is their home, and really setting that foundation for the next 4 years. Right. Oh, I saw one more question come up. Is Jeffrey peanut free? We are not a peanut free school. And I would encourage anybody that is concerned about an allergy to reach out to Mrs. Cutler directly. We certainly have protocols and procedures in place for students with allergies. That is definitely something that we are accustomed to. But you'll want to make sure our school nurse, again, Maura Cutler is her name, knows about your child's allergies, and we can definitely walk through our protocols and procedures with you specific to your child. How do we handle lockdown drills for security reasons? So we do safety drills. I do them once a month. So each month we either have a fire drill, what we call our code yellow drill, which is just sort of a lockdown light, if you will. Maybe we have a student that needs to be taken out in an ambulance. We don't want children to see that. So it's stay in your rooms, keep teaching, keep learning, but we just don't want kids in the hallway. And we do formal lockdown drills. All of our teachers are ALICE trained. ALICE is an acronym, A-L-I-C-E. A-L-I-C-E, yes, I'm spelling that right, to be prepared for that. So we do teach children that sometimes for safety, we do need to lock our door and move to the corner, move to a safe space. All of our teachers are trained in developmental language to use with the children for that. If we're in a lockdown drill, they continue reading a book or playing a quiet game just to keep it light and keep the kids at ease. And of course, the main thing we stress is the following teachers' directions in any drill, because you can plan for these drills and practice these drills, but heaven forbid a real situation pops up. We're going to need to be in communication. I will be in communication with the teachers with the students. We're very lucky that we will have Mr. Cappy back next year. He is our full-time security specialist. So he is on the grounds, walking around, alerting me to anything that seems out of place, and he really cares about each child's safety. So it's a great resource that we have on top of our Madison police officers that are on campus daily as well. The school is locked during the day. We do have a buzzer system. Yes, so you will have to ring that to get in. And Mr. Cappy is full-time at Jeffrey. He does drop off and pick up now. So if you're ever driving by school during those times, you'll see him out there. He knows every kid's name. He's my right hand, and we're very blessed to work in a district that can give us those supports. Are afternoon snacks provided? No, we will ask you to send that with your child each day. Send a lunch if they're not buying, send a snack, send a water bottle. Again, more information will be coming from your child's classroom teacher. All right, well, I will pause there for the evening, but again, this is not the end of the conversation. Again, if something pops into your head tomorrow and you'd like more information about it, please call me at Jeffrey. We are just, again, so excited to partner with you, and I look forward to getting to know you and your family personally. Jeffrey, like I said, great place to work. And I thank you for attending tonight. All right, take care.
Thank you.
My
Bye.
pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.